Good afternoon. I'm Gloria Nelson with TUG, and we're so glad to have you join us today for our TUG Connects 365 programming. As you settle in and get ready for the start of today's webinar, let me give a brief introduction for TUG, the usergroup.org, for both our current members and those of you who represent organizations that have not yet joined our online community of info distribution software users. Now, we've all heard that phrase, knowledge is power, and I can say with the utmost confidence that after today's presentation, you'll be waking up tomorrow with a little more of both. TUG webinars, online forums, and member events facilitate the timely exchange of ideas and information to help you work smarter and with more confidence. And no matter how you slice it, that's a winning combination. If you're currently a member, it pays to get even more involved. And if you're not, please visit our website to discover why 2,300 heads are better than one to help you be the best at what you do. Now, before we get started, let me touch base on a couple of housekeeping tidbits. Buckle up for the full hour. We probably have a good 45 to 50 minutes of content. We're going to hold for a collective all four. Each person that presents today is going to have their own individual Q&A session, and then we'll move along. And at the conclusion, we'll have a global Q&A period. So make sure you drop your questions into the Q&A bubble. That allows everyone else who's online to see it, upvote it by liking it and bubbling that question to the top for the individual who's presenting when we have more than one populate. And also feel free to open chat. That's your communication tool with us. It defaults to us. If you want to make a comment to everyone who is in the mix with regard to emphasizing a key point, etc., feel free to jump in there and communicate with everyone that's logged in and online. Now, regarding intellectual property permissions, you are invited to take screenshots and copy and paste any chat history to maximize your experience and to have for recall. So now it is my pleasure to introduce and welcome our esteemed presenters today from Phocas, Whitecup, Cyber Science, and Earnest Associates. Sonia Balzer from Phocas is first up as our presenter. So I'm going to ask everyone else to jump off camera. And Sonia, I'm turning things over to you. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay, thank you so much, Gloria. So, hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. I am Sonia Balzer. I'm Marketing Programs Manager at Phocas Software, and I'm joined today with my colleague Christine Martin, who is our Partner Alliance Manager. And Christine is going to give us a brief walkthrough of how data has changed business for the better. And she's also going to share with you guys how Phocas Software can help you feel good about using data. And with that, I will turn it over to Christine.
Hello, and welcome to How Data Has Changed Business by Phocas Software. I'm Christine Martin, the Partner Alliance Manager at Phocas. Today, we're going to talk about transforming your business with data. There's been studies done all across the world around how businesses have utilized data and how it's impacted their business. And what those studies have shown is that companies using business intelligence are 5 times more likely to make faster decisions. These data-driven companies grow on average more than 30%. They're 23 times more likely to acquire new customers, and they're 19 times more likely to be profitable. So of the people that have been surveyed, 64% of business leaders say self-service business intelligence creates a significant competitive advantage for them. So using data to make accurate decisions faster, it really helps your business create this holistic, unemotional view of your business. We've got customers that have a place at the boardroom for Phocas. If someone has a question, they get on a computer, log into Phocas, and they get the answer to their question without having to call somebody. And they're able to make an impact, not just now and what's happening in their business, but in the future with this increased visibility. They found that it's reducing their time spent creating reports using Excel and pivot tables, and they're not waiting on someone else to run those reports, export that data. It's much faster and easier for them. And they're able to quickly and easily follow their train of thought to get to the details and get to the answers they're looking for. So Phocas wanted to get you all of your data in one place. So if we start at the bottom of this screen, we'll see just some of the integrations that Phocas has. So you can take this data and have it pushed up to the Phocas cloud. In these databases, this data will sit, and you can then use it to look at business intelligence, do some analytics, create some visualizations, follow your train of thought, but also create financial statements and complete your budgets. And all of this can be accessed from your phone, from a computer, from a tablet. So think of this like building a cake, if you will. Everything starts with this base layer of Phocas analytics. It's where all of this data from those source systems come. It's a single place, a single repository of data. And our customers came back and said, you've got all of this data. Can't you let us create financial statements from that data? So we then rolled out a year and a half ago this ability to create financial statements, customize financial statements, create multiple versions of a financial statement, all in one place. Again, unemotional data that you can access and publish these financial statements. And our customers then came back and said, hey, we've got all of this information. We'd like to be able to use your tool to create budgets and forecasts as well. So we've taken all of this information with that base of analytics through financial statements and budgeting and forecasting and put it all together to give you a single source of truth for all of your data. So if you think about the analytics piece and the data that exists, you can visualize using dashboards. I can get a view of how my business is every single day by using this analytics tool. And then once I find information that I'm looking for, I can drill down into the details to see what makes up those numbers. And that's true not just from the data analytics side of things, but also the financial statements and budgeting. If I'm looking at a financial statement and I want to know what makes up an expense, I can drill down into the details to see all of those transactions that make up those expenses. And then we've got those financial statements. You can create your own financial statements. We give you a standard financial statement, but maybe your board wants to see specific ratios on their financial statement. If you're owned by a private equity firm, maybe they've got their own set of ratios and calculations that they want to see in a financial statement. You can create multiple versions of a financial statement. They all have the same bottom line, but all within the same tool, and then publish them. You could export those financial statements into Excel, and any calculations that you had created within Phocas are also included in those Excel files as well. And then because we've got all of this information, you can create your budgets within Phocas as well. There's a workflow that you can assign budgets to someone. They can add comments to those, submit those back to you. You can reject them. You can do different methods of how to budget moving forward. And it's all using information that's found within Phocas. You can also use drivers. Think of using a headcount driver to drive your phone expense, to drive health insurance expenses. You can add multiple drivers in there, and it has a look and feel of Excel as well. You can limit who has access to specific information based on user roles as well. So thank you very much for this short introduction of Phocas Business Analytics, financial statements, budgeting, and forecasting. I'd love to spend a little bit of time showing you more detail about the solutions that we offer. On the screen, you'll see my contact information. I'd love to help you further. Thank you so much for your time today. Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much, Christine. And again, I'm going to repeat her contact information. If anybody has any questions, please contact Christine Martin, and her email address is Christine, CHRISTINE.Martin, MARTIN, at Phocas Software. That's PHOCAS SOFTWARE.com. You can also reach her at phone number 678-471-1075. And with that, I think we've got some questions.
We do. I'm going to
Right.
remind everyone that your chat window defaults to the panelists and hosts. That's myself and all of our esteemed presenters. So if you want everyone to see your question, make sure that you put in everyone in your chat box. But we do prefer that your questions get put into the Q&A bubble so everyone can see them. But I do have a question that came in. Number one, are Phocas dashboards pre-built, or do I have to build them or do customizations myself?
That's a great question. So with Phocas, we're pretty easy to use. That's what our customers love about us. And so we do come with a lot of standard dashboards that are already pre-built that you can use and access and share. But if you want to customize things, you can also do that with a few clicks of a button. It's very simple with our platform.
Great, thank you. And we have a second question here. Can I export Phocas reports to Excel if I need to?
I think that's a question a lot of people have. We're all used to using Excel spreadsheets, even if we're looking to get away from it. We still want to be able to share them or export to them when we need to. And yes, definitely with the Phocas platform, you can export any of the reports to Excel to be able to do what you've been doing with them traditionally.
Wonderful. Well, Sonia, I'm going to hold. I do have one more question for you that populated, but I'm going to hold that until we get to our general overall questions in order to be sensitive to the time to the other presenters. So without any further ado, I am going to invite Brian Friedel from Whitecup. And Brian, you've gone through a rebranding also. If you would like to join us here. You've gone through a rebranding also to Whitecup, so I'm sure that you're going to touch base on that as well.
I surely am. All right, we see the screen okay there? Okay, thanks, Gloria. Great to be here. My name is Brian Friedel. I am the VP of Business Development here at Whitecup. Do not be fooled, though. You may know us as Mitz Business Intelligence and Analytics, and you may know us as Tour de Force CRM. Same great companies have been around for a long time, now united under the Whitecup banner. Distribution, this is where we live, eat, breathe, and play. A lot of deep ties. I myself was in distribution for 24 years before I came to Whitecup. I actually spent 13 years running an electrical distributorship before I came here. My story is not unique. There's many of us here at Whitecup, and we have the privilege of working with over 250 distributors running in 4 platforms, including Fax, A+, SX.e, CSD. If you have seen any of my webinars in the past, I've been out and about doing some of these things, you know this is my favorite question. It's really the filter through which all things must pass, in my opinion. And the reason is there's really no glory in owning software. Please don't tell my CEO I said that, but it's true. It's my distributor roots showing through. Where the glory is in actually making a change to your company. Couple of components for that, right? You have to know what to do. That's the Mitz business intelligence side. And you have to have a systematic and accountable process to make sure they actually get done. On the sales side, that's the TDF piece. Somewhere between those is actual results. And that's where the real glory is and where things happen. Hey, there's 2 ways to do everything, right? It's on us to show you how we handle this and make it the easy way for you. And we take that pretty seriously. One of the ways we do that is making sure we've built out pre-made scorecards, dashboards, and reports across all parts of the company, right? It's not just the sales side. We have that, of course, but it's also purchasing and it's inventory analysis, it's pricing, it's AP, it's AR, it's expenses. And you know, there's a lot of companies out there that can put numbers on a screen for you. But we believe very strongly it needs to be tactical. It needs to be very specific. It should be role-based and handle, you know, specific issues. So it's go here, do this, make this money. And that's how we like to look at all BI. Got a couple of dashboards here. I'm not going to pop into the product. I'll save that for when you call me later and we do a demo. But here's an excerpt from one of them. It's going to give you a pretty good idea how we approach this. I want to call your attention to the headings up here, right? And this is for a purchaser. Make money, don't lose money, and don't get yelled at, right? Everything a growing purchaser needs. And we take this very seriously, right? Tactical. So under make money, you've got things like making sure you don't wind up with a stock out situation. Let's catch those items that slip through your normal purchasing process. If you don't have the product, you can't make money with it. It's got things in this column like products to return, which could also be relabeled the dead stock prevention report. You know, these are items that are almost too late to return, and you want to grab them and return them if you have too many. You know, don't lose money. Let's look at POs that may not be what you really want, right? POs where you're ordering more than a 6-month supply. POs where they're in stock somewhere else in your company. POs where it's a vendor that you don't sell much of and it's really quick to get. Maybe you really don't want to stock that much, right? Let's call attention to very specific tactical things. Don't get yelled at. Nobody likes that. So this is probably what you might expect, which is purchase orders who are late. Let's go check on those. Let's be proactive. We all know there's a heck of a difference in the conversation when you're calling the customer instead of them calling you, and you're calling them with solutions. Here's a second one, keeping with this theme. This is about vendor negotiations, vendor management. We call this our supplier 360 scorecard. This came about because it always used to happen to me where I would have a vendor poke their head in the door and I'm being pulled 18 different directions and a phone ringing and they're questioning, hey, anything you need today? And it's like, no, okay. And 5 minutes later, it's like, doggone it, I really needed to talk to them. So here's a whole bunch of vendor information at your fingertips. Let's have conversations around turns. Are they what we want? Is it the GMROI, or is it a good investment for us? Are we making the profit dollars on this vendor that we make on the rest of them that are in our warehouse? Dead stock to us, probably not to them. Let's enlist their help. Where can I move these things? You know, decreasing products. Are you experiencing this across the whole region? Are there things we need to do? Do we need to be trained? If we have a pricing issue, do we know where to sell it? Let's enlist the vendor's help with these very real issues, including, hey, there's a phone over there. I need you to call on this PO. It's late, right? Very specific, very tactical. And what that gets you is a way to level the playing field. I'm going to guess a lot of people out there don't have an army of data scientists or 50 people in their IT department or access to big data. That's where Mitz comes in. I could spend all day on this one. I'm super passionate about small business. I've spent my whole life there. Small business is what really powers our economy, even though we don't always get to grab the headlines. So we want to put together a package here, and we have, that really levels the playing field for you. Last point on this, you know, it's a self-service situation, or certainly it can be. You know, when you've got people in your company that are hungry for information, IT doesn't have to cook up a whole meal. They can head over to that vending machine called Mitz, pull out what they need when they need it. It's a hot issue right now. Figure it out, get on with their job. Go be doing the things that they need to be doing instead of waiting for IT to push that out. And you know, what else could IT be doing? I bet there's other projects and other things that might be just as or more valuable. So quick word on the TDF CRM piece of it, just like Mitz, built for distribution, been there forever. It was actually started by a man who comes from a family that owned a distribution company. Integrated with your ERP, customer relationship management, right? CRM is no longer just about making sure that the salespeople aren't napping behind the Denny's in the afternoon, right? It's about really creating a full picture of your customer and enhancing the relationship. Now, happy to work with you on the Mitz side for BI. We're alone. We're happy to work with you on the TDF side for CRM alone. But you know what? When you put them together, you get just another little slice of magic here that I think is worth mentioning, right? So now we can connect the behavior with the results. I mean, picture this. You're in the Mitz, you're parsing through the data and you discover something. Let's say you discover, here's this customer that used to buy this product and now they don't. No problem. Right from there, I can create an activity on the CRM side. Let's go have that conversation and see what we can do about it. Same thing true coming the other direction. I'm in the CRM tool. I'm planning my day. Hey, I'm going to go see customer ABC today. Let's make sure that sales call is the most valuable it can be. I can pop into the BI and see what I should be talking to them about. Right? Seamless, go back and forth, build the whole picture. It's one source of truth, pulls all the data from the same warehouse, and same platform, same support. Pretty cool. And it gets us into some things like this. Now we can look at the top 10 concerning accounts with no recent activities. You know, I read that a typical distributor loses about 10% of their customers per year. I wonder how many of them are lost because nobody paid attention to them. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Or the other side of the coin, here's your top 10 high growth accounts with no recent activities. I got a hunch they're not going to continue to grow like that if nobody's paying attention to them. These are the kinds of things that we can really put together now with both pieces. Either one stands alone, they're even better together. So that's what I've got today for you. I would love to chat more if this is interesting. One of the first things I'm going to do is ask you some questions about you know, what's interesting, what you're trying to accomplish, and then I can share with you how we can help. Maybe there's a meeting of the minds there and we move forward. We're happy to explore. If you want to get in touch, the easiest way to do that is my email. It's brian.friedel@whitecupsolutions.com. That is brian.friedle@whitecupsolutions.com.
Brian, thanks. We have a couple questions that have populated for you so far. Number one, first question is, what makes CyberQuery different than other business intelligence products?
Oh, this is Whitecup.
Oh, whoops, sorry. What can I create? Sorry, that one popped in something else. Can I create reports from scratch also?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And you don't need to be a SQL expert to do it. It's point and click, drag and drop. You can build columns and filter and sort. Yeah, super easy. No expertise required there.
Good to know. And if I migrate to CSD, can Whitecup migrate with me?
We will be right on your tail. In fact, a lot of people, when they're migrating from one ERP to another, will use Mitz as a way to check data integrity to make sure that the migration process has been successful. So many times people will migrate us first, and then they can help with the rest of the ERP movement. So yeah, good question. We do come across that quite a bit.
Great. Well, the one thing I can tell you so far as my respect for our TUG members is that having gone through the migration process with our association management system and also our forum, it gives me a great respect for anyone going through migration of data. I just like bow down
process.
to all of you. Yeah, it is a process, and one that requires a tremendous amount of patience. Brian, thank you so very much. And next up, I'm going to ask Brad Jackson from Cyber Science to join us.
All right. Thank you very much, Gloria. Appreciate it. So today, guys, we're going to talk about the agenda and walk through with CyberQuery, the client requirements. So when we spoke with different SX.e and CSD clients, what they're looking for when it came to reporting and BI needs, some strengths around CyberQuery. We'll get into the demonstration as well, a brief demonstration. And then, of course, we'll talk about the free test drive that we offer, which is a 30-day time period. And then, of course, Q&A as well. So what were the different requirements that we ran into when speaking with prospects within SX.e, CSD, or customers we've had for several years? And that was the need to have fast, powerful, and flexible reporting. And I think that flexibility is key here. And you'll see that theme as I walk through today during my portion. So also full control over all the data. That includes having a local store of your data, access to all the transactional data. So that data at the raw level to make sure you can control which tables, which fields you want to look at any time. Access to other data. So data outside of the SX.e and CSD applications, whether that's Excel files, external sources, and so forth. And then also they were looking for a high value with a flexible pricing model. At Cyber Science, we've been around over 40 years. And one of the things we often run into is, well, we haven't heard of you. Well, we put a lot of money into our development of our product. We're very proud of that. So I throw this slide up here so you guys can all see that we do work with very large clients, middle clients, small clients, and they are all getting value out of CyberQuery in all different types of industries. What are different strengths with CyberQuery? And these are strengths that we hear from our clients. So it's stable and fast. It just runs and it's quick. Okay. Quick answers to those custom business questions. So that's the ad hoc capability of CyberQuery, to go and think of something and discovery and look into your information however you like. It's not just an IT tool. So we often get told in BI surveys that our product is used by more departments than other products. So from sales to IT users, all the way down to like the programmer developer types, they can get value out of CyberQuery. CyberQuery has a data dictionary layer, and it simplifies that ugly data. So we've all seen how systems have the ugly database names, table names, field names. We can make that seem a lot simpler for you. Reports can be bursted and pushed out to both internal and external stakeholders, and that can also be automated as well. And then exception reports. So if you see where people aren't entering data in within certain thresholds, or they're just not entering data in at all, that can be set up to be sent back to them on an hourly, daily basis, so they can start remembering to enter that data in as they should. Because as we all know, bad data in, it's bad data out. Same with no data in. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the demo section here real quick. So with CyberQuery, it contains its own web server, and there's a couple different applications here, but for today, I'll jump into the CyberQuery for SX.e demonstration. So this is the report developer, how you can develop a query within CyberQuery. It's asking you different ways to do it. We have multiple graphical ways to do it, as well as a language way. So for today, I'm going to choose some report, click next. It's asking me, well, which file or table do I want to start with for my fields? Well, I mentioned simplifying data. Sorry about that, chose the wrong thing there, chose help. Chose my viewpoint. So now I went to our end user viewpoint. You see that right there? Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and type in sales, because I want to find a sales table.
Brad, not to interrupt you, but your video that you're showing is not showing. We're still seeing your PowerPoint.
Really? Sorry. Stop share. Share screen. How about now, guys?
That's it.
All right, sorry guys, I'll pick up some time here. So here is our wizard bit. So it pulls up, it asks me what type of report I want to choose. So I'm going to choose some report. It's asking me what file do I want to start out with. It's sales order lines will be my primary table. I will click that. I want to look for an amount table, and I'm going to summarize my amounts. And let's go ahead and summarize that by date, which it remembers what I've done in the past. Click finish. So quickly you can see I have an amount table, or the amounts by dates in there by year. So I'm going to go ahead and click insert a copy here. Sorry, I'm having mouse problems, guys. Sorry. Insert a copy. Item properties. Sort, and let's show that by month. And okay, so you can see I can quickly look at the amounts by year and by month. If I only want to look at the year, I can click on the year. And you can see I can quickly start filtering on that data. If I ever want to go in and put this thing into a graph, I can just go click my graph option here. And put that here. It should quickly throw this into a line chart for me. I can switch it to a bar chart as I want, pie chart, etc. I can do things like show regression lines, maximum lines, and so forth. I'll switch to my touchpad, guys. Sorry, my mouse is not cooperating with me. So you can see I can quickly look at it in different ways. So let me go back and show you the sum. Okay. If I want to do some filtering, or first let me go ahead and show if I want to insert a bullet chart for this example. So I'll rank bullet chart and percentage. You can see how easy that is. And of course, everyone loves the undo option. Okay. If I only want to look and drill into August, I can click on my drill tool. go into August, right click, drill into. It remembers what I've drilled into last time, but I can delete that and come over to my entire data dictionary over here, which you can see. And I'm just going to drag item into that box, click OK. And now you can see all the different items that make up that August 2001 order. So real quick, easy ways to drill down. And that is truly an unbounded drill down back into that data dictionary and all of that data. So at any time, if you want to see what the language behind CyberQuery is, that you can go in and just type right into as well, it's right here. Okay, and you can modify it right within the language editor if you choose. File, if I want to save inquiry, I can save this query, which is the dynamic code that says pull me the latest information. I can save the format file, which shows me the logo, as well as, for example, it will save the column headings and how they look, or I can save a static version of that report. So as it was when I ran that query. Okay. Let me go back here to our PowerPoint. Hopefully you're still seeing that, guys. And talk about the test drive. So with the test drive, it is free. It includes up to 16 hours of consulting to get the product installed. And we ask that you come to us with a couple reports that you've had challenges creating in other products in the past, because we really do like to tackle those difficult ones. And we show you that you'll start getting return even before your investment. So after that 30 days, that's when the subscription begins. So Q&A. Gloria, you want to jump in, and then I'll give my information here at the end.
I am happy to jump in. We did have someone post that question that I unfairly and unfortunately posed during Brian's presentation. Somebody had come in locked and loaded and wanted to know, after probably visiting you online, what makes CyberQuery different than other BI products?
I think it's the time and effort that goes into accessing different types of products. So, and the data underlying. So the ability to go and ad hoc analysis up against many different data sources is a big value point in CyberQuery.
Sounds like it. The other thing too that I wanted to just say is, Tim, thank you very much. One of the things I love about TUG is that even though many of you have some overlapping services, the type of collegiality that we have within our membership, I view you all in line here today that you might have some things that overlap with regard to your solutions as not being competitors, but co-competitors. So Tim, thanks for giving Brad that shout out, because I have all these screens open in front of me on two different screens. So a big shout out and appreciation to Tim. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Tim, as well. Thank
you. Your next
Happy
question.
to.
Oh, sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Just saying, happy to help.
Appreciate it.
And you did indeed. So thanks. Next question is, can CyberQuery access data from external data sources?
Yeah, and I touched on that a little bit ago as well, but I don't know if you saw it when I first pulled up the product. We're always looking at ways to make it easier to analyze different sources, whether or not that is a database that's on your system, a cloud type database where we need to connect into, or it's a simple CSV type file. When I pulled up CyberQuery, we've added something in our last couple of versions where you can just drag, like, for example, an Excel file or a CSV file right into our browser client, and it will walk you through a couple pieces to create like a file that you can quickly start using CyberQuery to analyze. So definitely.
Well, wonderful. That's all the questions I have right now for you, but we're going to have that group Q&A at the end. So please get your questions ready. The one thing I want to repeat for you also is that when we get to that group Q&A, we have one more presenter to go, is to make sure that you put either the company name or the individual that you want to address that question to, so that we make sure that it gets pushed in the right direction. So without any further ado, hey, Brad, if somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Thank you for that, Gloria. So you can reach me at email at bjackson, BJACKSON at us.cyberscience, CYBERSCIENCE.com.
Wonderful. And Brad, thank you very much. You'll come back and join us at Q&A. And next up is going to be Tim Plotner from Earnest Associates. Hey, Tim, welcome back. We're going to lose camera there. We're going to lose Brad off camera there.
Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it, Gloria, and welcome everybody. I'm Tim Plotner. I'm the Director of Emerging Technologies with Earnest Associates. Ernest has been profit improvement specialists for over 40 years. We have hundreds of ERP customers, and it's our mission to help them improve their profitability and in their business. Excuse me. To give you a little bit of insight into ProAdvisor, first of all, some very high-level features. It's built on PowerBI, so if you're familiar with Microsoft's tool, all of the power, all the functionality that's embedded in PowerBI is available to you using ProAdvisor. Although we make it very highly configurable as well as customizable through a management website, which you'll see a very brief screenshot of. Included in this is full integral security down to the row level and the table level by user. And users can be grouped by roles or positions. And we even contain or provide multi-company consolidation. So if you have multiple companies and you want to see enterprise-wide metrics, you can get that as well. So the typical relationship that people have with their data and their data tools, it starts, and if you're familiar with Grant Howard, Grant helped us design and develop this, and he's pointed out many times that the sort of the beginning level of this is no reporting at all. And there are a lot of companies out there who really don't do any reporting. They base everything off of their tribal knowledge that they have within their business, and they're lost. Well, the next step sort of people measure to measure, and basically they're gathering all this information and not doing anything with it. And then the next level, if you want to refer to it as Grant uses the term tick me off, he uses a little more colorful language there. But this is the folks that are having all this data and they're seeing the problems that it's exposing, but they're not finding ways. They can't, the tool isn't giving them a way to get to the answer to the solution. And tick me off reporting, even when it's made pretty, really isn't much help. So ProAdvisor takes a different approach. We started with some guiding principles, ease of use and accessibility. We want all of your business to be able to utilize it, all the way from the executive level down to the salespeople or the warehouse managers. It has to be results driven and focused on your business objectives. And above all, it has to identify and solve business performance issues for you. Now, what do we mean by solving business performance issues? Well, we're going to take you through a very brief demo here. I'll show you some of the screens within the application. This is one of our dimensional views, dimensional longevity, which is focusing on your customer satisfaction. And you'll see this theme reported throughout repeated throughout the product. You can see I've got all of my dimensional information by region branch, and I'm looking at perfect order, filled, complete, on time, and accuracy. And as I slide out here, I can see various pieces of information. And the yellow here, which is based on your goal settings, just sort of jumps out at me here that Southwest may be experiencing an issue with on-time delivery, and I want to find out more about this. So I can click on this, and it'll filter all the rest of the screen for you. So you're seeing all the customers, all of the invoices, all the vendors, but I want to combine that with, say, item class. So instead, what I'll do is come over here, and using the filter on all pages, I'm going to filter to the Southwest region, and that'll filter everything down to Southwest and allow me to switch over here to item class. So now what I'm looking at are all of the sales in item classes that were late. We're going to scroll over here to on time, that are within the region, Southwest region. Now, one of the features here of Power BI is I can use this focus mode to blow this little screen up and see a lot more information. And as I'm going down through all my not on time information, you'll notice that I've got what we call opportunity measures, not on time dollars, gross margin, that's sales dollars, gross margin, and gross margin percent. And this helps me understand where the real opportunity is to improve my bottom line performance. So when I see this, I say, well, there's too much information here. I'm going to filter this out, so I'm only looking at the problem on time percentages. So I can come down to my filters on this visual, go to my on-time percent and say, only show me those that are less than 70%. And when I click apply filter, it will filter this visual down to only show me those that are below 70%. Well, now I can then take this a step further by looking at either gross margin on time or not on time sales dollars, and clicking on these headers will sort this in order. And right at the beginning, it jumps out at me at $124,000 worth of not on time sales were coming out of this refrigerant equipment item class, or in CSD terms, product category. So noticing that, I want to get a little bit more information. So I'll come down to my filter on all pages, and I'm going to switch to, on item class, I'm going to look for class 414, which is my refrigerant equipment. So now I'm filtering all of my system by refrigerant equipment, and I can jump back to my report. And now I'm seeing all of the vendors that I buy refrigerant equipment from. I'm seeing all the customers that I've sold it to. And I can click on not on time here and see all of the invoices in this time period that were not on time. So now one more step I can take just to show you this. This little filter, these little filter controls up here also can go into focus mode. So I'll jump into focus mode here. And I can very quickly see, as I'm looking at my sales dollars, that EdFman International has $141,000. They're the lion's share of my problem. So I can select EdFman and come back to my report. And now my list of invoices that are listed here are those for region, Southwest, item class refrigerant equipment from EdFman. And now I could take this and export that data, say, to Excel, and pass that off to the buyer that is responsible for EdFman International, and say, hey, you know, are we not getting these things in time? What's going on? And they can then help solve the problem. So that's just an example very quickly of how ProAdvisor is built to lead you to the solution, not just show you the problem. One other screen that I'll show you here, and I'm going to clear out my filters so that we're not still filtering on these other values. The monthly yearly comparative, this is your monthly meeting. This is where you have all of your metrics, all of your goals laid down. You start here with your income statement goals. You come down through your customer experience goals, your asset goals, your receivables and such, your inventory goals with surplus turns, all of your operational goals, all of that in one place. So as you're going through your monthly meeting with your team, you've got immediate access to everything to talk about accountability. So a couple other things. Everything is built around goals here. So we have over 34 goals with tons of metrics. I can give you lots of details on how these are set up. Very flexible configuration. Maintenance of the goals can be at any level of your organization, from regions to branches to salespeople to customers, all the way through, and all of those come and are displayed accurately for you in ProAdvisor. We have many other areas like we have dashboards for executives. We have dimensional views for things like customer defection. We have comparative views where you can put your buyers up against each other and see how are they comparing and where's one buyer succeeding where another is not. Same thing for branches and for salespeople. You have comparatives that'll show you all of that. And notice every one of these is color coded. That helps you find where those issues and solutions are. Dimensional inventory mix is some special purpose built reports like that, as well as receivables over 90 that help you dig into why are your receivables growing? What is, what can we do to improve that? And or we have areas of our business that are particular problems. So that's a pretty high overview of both Earnest Associates and ProAdvisor, which we call Business Intelligence Plus Performance Management. Very excited to share with you any more information on it. And I'd like to see if we have any questions.
I come.
Hey, Gloria, do we have
Tim,
anything?
long time no see. We do have a couple questions for you. The first one is, if I turn this over to our warehouse managers and buyers, will they be able to see the sales and GL information also?
Actually, no, you can hide almost any of the data that you want and any of the reports you want based on the role that the person is assigned to when you set up their user. So again, all this goes through our management website where you set up users and their security permissions, what they can see, what they can't, and those permissions even fall through if you are actually working in the Power BI desktop to build your own reports. It still only presents that user with the data that they're allowed to see.
Wonderful. Next question here says, this looks like a lot of predefined reports. Can we use it like a standard BI product?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And you can not only modify the pre-built reports that we've provided, but you can build your own from scratch, and you can enhance them. We of course support custom data, custom goals even, that you can define and have all of that information available to you. So yes.
Wonderful. We have some questions that are still populating. I want to jump in and invite everyone who has been a presenter today on our esteemed panel to jump back on camera. I'm going to funnel some questions for you that are coming in. Also, while I'm waiting for everybody to jump on, I just want to give a quick plug for our TUG Connects 2021 program. Our online digital content is going to be available until August 31st. There's 280 plus sessions. And if you've been bouncing on for our Friday replays, you'll know that we have robust content that is there for your viewing until the end of October, and you're able to watch it from the convenience of your own home or from your office. It's all on demand. I've dropped the link into the chat window, so we invite you to jump on over there, take a look at the agenda, because it's not too late to register either for yourself or for the group registration for your entire organization. So now, without any further ado, I'm going to jump up here. Brian, I have a question for Whitecup. Is there a discount if I already have Mitz and decide to buy TDF CRM?
Working the angles. I love it.
Well, people got to say what they can say, right?
The answer is absolutely. Yeah, of course. You're investing heavily in us and more in us. We like to reciprocate. So yes, we do offer a discount for that. We'll make it attractive. You bet.
Wonderful. That's good to know. I'm going to jump over here real quick. The next question is for Sonia. How many Infor customers are using Phocas?
I think right now we have just over 100 Infor users using Phocas Analytics.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I know that we have, all of you have been around for a good while, and while Brad's the new kid on the block with cyber science, I'm sure that he's really jumped in here and seen all that drops in on the back end with an API into an ERP and how it enhances it so greatly within TUG. Thanks for that. Thanks for that answer. Appreciate it. Also, I have a question for Tim. I'm going to come back to you. Thanks, by the way, for identifying each person either by company or by individual name. It's very helpful to me as your host today. So Tim, it says, can we load custom data or define custom goals?
Yes, actually you can. And I previously said that, but I missed it. We do support custom goals, and we would define them for you, but then you can maintain any of those values at any of the levels that that goal applies to. The custom data, you just simply identify it. It can come from any system, not just your ERP, whether it be CSD or SX or Fax. You can get it from any other source. So as long as you can get it to us, we can make it available to you.
Wonderful. And Brad, I have a question here for you now. It says, how long does it take to implement CyberQuery?
Typically in an SX.e environment, you're looking at under 4 hours. So we can do the installation and load the entire data dictionary. That often can be 30 minutes to 60 minutes to do. And then walk you through a few bits so you can see how it will work in a generic sense. And then the CSD would take a little longer because obviously that data initially resides out in the cloud. So,
wow, that's pretty darn amazing. Well, I want to honor our time frame here today. And number one, thank all of you for your presentations, and to everyone who's joined us online for taking the time to join us here today. As with most all of our webinars, this presentation will be available on our TUG website for future reference and posted to the appropriate forum board with a link for viewing on the next business day or the day after. Our next webinar will be this Friday, August 20th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, as we revisit the TUG Connects 2021 Billows Electric Site Tour, TWL Receiving and Put Away. This is kind of like a taste of TUG Connects for those of you that didn't join us in the digital realm this year. And as I said, we have over 280 programs that are available if you jump on. So this is a little dip your toe in the water and kind of find your bearings in terms of what it's like to view the content online. So watch your inbox for the invitation, and our website always has upcoming webinar content available for review and registration as well. So enjoy that taste of TUG. This content again is available until October 31st. We'd like to invite those of you who are members of TUG to continue this discussion online in our members only forum. I always say that's 24 karat gold. Where can you go during the day, have a conundrum, and have a host of peers as well as partners, channel partners, and regular partners that can provide solutions for you. So that place is golden. Literally, usually within under 10 minutes time, you'll get a response to a post. And as I like to quote TUG's chairman, Brad McGuire, who shared his biggest takeaway from TUG Connects this year, when he said, TUG delivers knowledge, network, and value to member companies. So for those of you who are not members yet, jump on over to www.theusergroup.org and join today. And again, thanks to everyone who presented. Thanks to all of you who have joined us. And as they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.